Quadrant. A lot of momentum at stake here, trying to get to 2-0 in the Swiss. We are underway. We saw Hawks in the first round with Evil Geniuses. Now we see one of his former teammates, Ixo. See if he fares any better, as this goes right back out to the wing. Good clearance out of Quadrant on the first effort into the zone from Team Liquid. Oski knocked around back towards the goal, and Cash going for Ixo, and Oski recognized that so quickly. But there's Cash coming through the middle. Quick reactions and a 1-0 lead.
Look at Cash, just a great pass, follow up here, solid. He gets up quick, even though that dominance he's driving looks real heavy. It puts a lot of power behind that shot. I'll give it to him. First goal of the series for Cash.
He's not wearing one of those heavy decals, so it's fine. Here goes Cash again. Boy, he's looking real light as he goes through. 2 quick goals for Cash.
He's flying like that Phoenix goal explosion. You see him in the air. Oski gives him a little nudge, and Cash says, oh, no one's in the net? Sure, I'll take that every day. Back to back for Cash.
So Liquid falling behind by a couple goals very early on. A Chronic a little wide. Atto is there. Now Oski stuck by Relating Wave. Now Cash. Let that one get away from him, but he's still forward and could be dangerous. That's a great job by a Chronic. Solo effort to get through, and Cash, excellent recovery. Back out in front. It's a loose ball that eventually somehow Relating Wave comes away with. Atto is up with a Chronic. Waterfall down, and Cash clears away. Follow up from Oski. He's lining up a double, and Relating Wave make sure it doesn't get there.
Good deny on that one. Shot. Oh, looking for that top right corner. Unable to find it. Atto looking again for the same spot, but that one again hits the woodwork. A Chronic can't read that. Oski, though, a lot of time and a lot of patience will send that into the air. Liquid looking to get that press forward, but Ixo, he's mine. Thank you. He picks the pockets of Team Liquid.
Liquid thinks they have a bunch of time, and then Ixo, yoink, see ya. 3-0. Less than 90 seconds gone by as Quadrant continues to press their advantage. And we wondered if Liquid would maybe be warmed up after going the distance with Algeri. Not so much.
Can't let Ixo do that to you. Yeah, I mean, he literally just removed the Chronic from the place.
Gave another away.
Oh, you saw the fake there. Cash slowed it down right as he got into the box. And he tried to pull out Liquid, get him jumping. This Quadrant squad is looking confident at the start here, Stacks.
Well, Ixo's got Cash in the midfield, but this goes away from everybody. Out of the corner, Cash got to react. Gave it right to a Chronic, and Ixo couldn't bail him out as Oski comes in. Liquid gets one on the board.
Oski said, I am not going to let you do my man like that. This time I'm taking it for you. Look at that. Great read. Solid dunk on the play, and it's a 2-goal difference though. Lots of goals though being scored here in the first game. We'll see if Liquid can start really getting it pumped on the offensive end.
See the overhead shot from our observer Ben. Best wishes to Crasher, who's out a little under the weather. We hope you have a speedy recovery, but yes. It was us and Ben, we go back a little ways to the old RLCS X days. One of the better observers out there that you might not know about, but you're about to. As a Chronic shot sent away by Ixo, and Relating Wave with the clear. Great defensive effort out of Quadrant, but they're letting Liquid get a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, look at this pass. Oski, good shot, but a better save from Relating Wave. Way to get up there. And Liquid now starting to get that comfort of their own. Again, these individual plays in the air have looked really good for them. That being said, they still got to get successful. Good shot. Follow-up is off, and a Chronic can't get to the ball. Cash, no, he got caught up by a Tao who tries to take the ball from himself, and there's a little bit of a battle in the midfield. Liquid seem to be winning it. Cash, see you later. This one goes to a Chronic. It's a low and slow ball, slow enough for Ixo to get to it.
Oh, Ixo trying to get into the play again. That goes around the Relating Wave, but no panic. Cash had called him off. And Relating Wave will clear that away, but I think he saw Atto coming through at the corner of his eye and might have sweat a little bit. Here's Atto, that's gonna be wide. Follow up, can't force through Ixo. And Relating Wave, another big, powerful clearance downfield. Ixo's got one lined up. Open net, open season, 4-1.
You can't give Ixo a shot like that. He's going to hit it every time. That double commit cost so much there for Team Liquid, who kind of seem to be rallying. But then to give that one up, and now the 3-goal deficit returns. 4 goals on the side of Quadrant, though. They've been an offensive powerhouse in game 1.
Oh, Oski's gone through. He got a piece of cash there. Ato shot. Oh, what a save by Relating Wave. Had to stretch with a reflex save, and it's still a 3-goal lead as Liquid stifled off the kickoff. Now Ixo dump it back into the quarter and make that task even more difficult for Liquid if they want to come back and erase this massive deficit. Ato up the ladder out of the corner, and it's one more touch needed. He's got it, and a Chronic not on the same page. The timing just not there for Liquid.
Yeah, a Chronic is like playing the miss, but also doesn't expect the miss at the same time. We'll have to end up, again, just leaving that play, and now you see Liquid try to start again. Can they at least find a little bit more success before the clock hits 0? Because I doubt there's enough time. The way this Quadrant team is playing, they are not giving up 3 goals in 30. They'll give up that one, though. Hold on. Maybe I spoke too soon. A towel to the top left.
Just not a very well-advised ball coming through the middle. Relating Wave thinks he can follow this, but he pushed it a little too far. Ato's there, 33 seconds. We've seen some goofy things on the kickoff. Heck, we saw how Game 5 ended between Liquid and Algiri. 25 on the clock. Ixo tracking. Ato up ahead. Oski's there.
Wait.
Oh, he couldn't get it to go. And a Chronic not there in time. Missed opportunity there for Liquid that would have got him within 1. And now it's all to battle stations. Got to scramble to just throw something at the net and hope it sticks. Kind of like Tundra did against EG, but they're going the wrong way and they're going to run out of time. Quadrant, let it get interesting at the end, but they still hold on for a 2-goal dub.
Well done, though, from Quadrant. I mean, Liquid, whoo. Like I said, there was a part of me that thought I spoke too soon. If that drive that we saw at the end of that game goes in, I think Liquid could have potentially rallied and brought the game back. That being said, though, they were unsuccessful. Quadrant's defense held up. Ixo had 5 saves that game, 4 goals, 2 from Ixo had 100% goal participation as well, or with 2 goals and 2 assists. I mean, just this Quadrant team is just so crazy, Leaf.
Yeah, no, I mean, they started off with some crazy. You talked about the firepower before going into that, and they started off super strong. A little bit of bite back. I mean, like you like to see Team Liquid keep things competitive, so it is nice they got some fight back in them there. Across the board, though, kind of the same story from round 1. We're having a lot of close series. I mean, we do have Moist winning their first one, but it was only 1 goal. 1 goal difference against Turbo Clappers. They're now down in their next match. BDS do get their win, but again, only a 1-goal win against Tundra. So a lot of close matchups. And K-Corp G1, the one that, you know, a lot of people probably have their eyes on, that's tied in game 1-1-1 right now, as expected. So close games still across the board.
The depth of each region just continues to grow with every single event and matchups that, if you're the casual fan and you see big names on one side and not so much on the other, you think, okay, it's going to be a 3-0. It's going to be real easy. It might be a 3-0 in the end, but that 3-0 will not tell the whole story as these teams are coming to play. And Cash is here to play as well. We talked about his potential to take over a game. How about take over a series? He's the leading scorer now with his 3rd, courtesy of Ixo.
I was going to say, yeah, you good credence there to Ixo. Instead of just throwing a shot right back on her, he just light touch out. I know Cash is going to be there to clean it up, and Cash is there. I must say, I like the dominance a lot more than I saw in the first game, even though this isn't Fashion League. This is RLCS. He still looks good when he scores that one.
He'll look good in any car. Here's Ixo for Relating Wave. Hot shot, main. Let's go. Where's Kala?
Nope.
Hater.
Not a chance.
Ixo full tank of boost as he goes all the way across. And Relating Wave trying to hit Ixo downfield. Again, the team cohesiveness on this Quadrant side is so great over the now first event and fraction of an event here in the fall split. They look like a team. When we talk about a team being greater than the sum of their parts, I think this is exactly the team we're looking at. Because individually, you kind of look at them and go, all right, I mean, you know, they're not exactly Monkey Moon or Vatira out there, but together, there might not be many units that are better, as Ixo rolled one right at a Chronic, and then got the demo.
It does end up getting a demo, trying to slow things down here a little bit. Ixo a little too late, but Ixo's been all over the play, and you're right. When you see the individual names, there's a lot of talk about them as players, but when you see them on paper in a head-to-head of matchup, I mean, a lot of some teams, I mean, we saw that chat vote. It was barely in favor of Team Liquid by 1% because of just of that. You know the players on Liquid, you know that ability. Even though you know the players here on Quadrant, you don't necessarily, you don't understand off first glance maybe unless you're someone who's been looking at the game for a long time, like how that would work. So now you get to see it though here on the field, and it looks beautiful.
At a time where people are constantly waiting for roster news as well, and the rumors starting to swirl about this team being signed by Quadrant. Here goes Ato, trying to spoil their moment here. Oski for a Chronic. He still got a piece and cash out oh so quickly. And Quadrant had one of the cooler roster announcements coming out of this offseason as Ixo threw one across and a Chronic there to shut the door. Can Cash catch up to this? He won't. And Ato catches him napping. Team Liquid tie up game 2.
You're absolutely right on that one. Atal just a strong, clear downfield pass. Not expecting that to get through it all. And honestly, the fact that no one's back just shows you Quadrant were just playing so far forward, had a lot of faith in each other, and good on Atal to be able to kind of pick that apart.
Trying to throw another downfield, and this time Ixo's up for it. But here comes Liquid. Oski indirect for himself. A Chronic is waiting. He'll dash into the corner. Now it's Ato who comes up completely empty, and Cash can break out with the teammate downfield. He's got Relating Wave, who took out a Chronic, and Wave's gonna have to scramble out of the Liquid net to get back to the Quadrant net to help out Cash, who's back there. And he does slow down Ato good enough as Quadrant weathers the storm.
So now they are able to kind of break things out in open space, even though for Liquid, it just still doesn't feel too comfortable for them. Only a couple shots and 4 saves as it's just been Quadrant kind of swarming there in, looking for a breakout. Atal, though, might have a chance here, tries to drop it, was looking for that double flip reset, couldn't get it. And Ixo will push this into space here. Can Quadrant rally back as Cash not able to make contact. Wave a little too slow. Oski to Atal. Oski demoed on the play. Relating Wave kind of chasing things down as he's on his way back. Will get that 50 on a Chronic, was looking for a demo. Oski shot! 4 down and in! Team Liquid take the lead.
Yeah, this is a great sequence. You just kind of jam everybody up in the corner, and they catch Quadrant. Maybe a little bit of ball watching, hovering towards the ball a little too much. Finally get it out into space, and Oski puts it away. One of those shots that sometimes it goes bar down and away, not this time. So Liquid in front. Can they hold this lead, or does Quadrant have a quick response brewing? Relating Wave takes out a Chronic, but not before a Chronic got the pass away, and Liquid maintains possession as we tick down inside the final minute soon. Ixo ahead for Cash. Here comes Quadrant. One more touch needed. Got it out there, but Ixo did not make the read. And back out it goes, where Quadrant might have had a chance to sneak one through.
Right touch. Uh-oh, hold on. Ixo with the ball, has Cash on the wing. Cash not able to get up to that one. The Relating Wave will let Oski have it. Big miss here, and a Chronic has the double drop down, but Cash is able to get the save out, as it was just a little bit off target there for a Chronic. Still more pressure as Team Liquid, they got the lead, they want to hold on to it, and they want to run out the clock. They're trying to do it with these solo plays.
Oh, Ato held it for as long as he could. Down to 15 seconds. Oski can't finish the job. Ixo out to Ato with 10 seconds left. Oski's there. A Chronic just able to get a touch there with Relating Wave bearing down on him. Pass in front. Ixo and Cash try to connect again. Relenting Wave will try and keep it in the air. He can't, and that'll do it. Team Liquid tie the series with a chaotic sequence in the final few seconds.
Well done there for Liquid. We got a series on our hands, perhaps. There's some great bounce back from Team Liquid. Leaf, has any other teams been able to bounce back yet?
Well, yeah, talking about a series on hand, I just want to let you guys know there's a couple of overtimes going on right now. K-Corp G1 in game 1, going into about 4.5 minutes overtime right now. So that's it just ended now. G1 just scored. But yeah,
there you go.
Great series. And then Oxygen seems to love their overtimes today. They're in game 2. They took game 1 against Vitality, but they're in overtime 3 minutes right now against Vitality. So Vitality, looking strong. And BDS starting to get control, maybe. They're up 2-0 in the series, but they're losing 1-0 right now against Tundra. So, sort of. And Moist did finally step up and got a 5-2 win, I believe, in their game against Turbo Clapper. So they're up on match point now. So maybe we're seeing those top teams start to find their footing. But there are some pretty close games still.
Well. At least they can beat Turbo Clappers. All right. First few seconds going to be really telling here, I think, Daz, to see if Quadrant can regain from what felt like they were, I don't want to say outplayed necessarily by Team Liquid, but it certainly felt like Team Liquid held a lot of possession coming down the stretch of that last game, and they were able to slowly but surely take control of the game, and that continues. They could take control of the series here in round 2.
Yeah, that possession in the air is, I think the most important thing, and you're seeing Liquid take that air and show their creativity while also showing that prowess of being able to pull out defenders from Quadrant, because that's exactly what they did. They would usually have somebody take that charge, take the lead, pull out some defenders with a play that's on target that is really mechanical, and then Liquid would then follow up with either a follow-up shot or another play, because again, they want to break down that entire defense from Quadrant. So it's going to be up to Quadrant, though, to see if they can make adjustments as Game 3 is underway. First minute's gone by so far. It's been pretty quiet. No one has been able to get on the board.
Leaf has been mentioning the scoring updates from other series. Of course, those all on their respective team streams, and quite a bit of talent to be found all over those team streams. You got the very talented Tylacto over on the Quadrant side for this series, and then you've got, kind of a disappointing Liquid broadcast. You got Cole and Stumpy if you're into that, as Ixo will clear one as far down as Cash. And out of the corner, it's Ato. Just cool-handed at the back, as you'd expect.
He's been doing a solid job, at least trying to slow things down when Quadrant are on those offensive presses. Tao has been pretty good, though, also in the front. As you see, look, great light touch to Chronic. He was looking for the top right. Great shot, but Relating Wave, that's not his first good read we've seen this series. He's been making a couple of those over the course of this game.
Oh, that goes right to a toe. Things have really slowed down here. It's a much more methodical pace for both sides here in Game 3. I think Quadrant being extra careful not to overcommit after the second goal they gave up. Ultimately, the game winner in Game 2, where they kind of got caught forward. Relating Wave lets one go to the top right, and it's Liquid that can't react in time.
And look at this.
Did Ixo get that toe? I think he did.
He did. He got a little bit of bump. But, you gave Wave that lane. And sometimes you either ride the wave or you get swept up by it. That time, Relating Wave able to get on the board. And a pretty good time in game here. Quadrant really needed a good start, and they got it.
Cash with the demolition off that kickoff. That stopped a Chronic from coming up and maybe equalizing immediately. Ixo could get to this. He does, but a Chronic is there. And more importantly, kept that close to the vest so he and Oski can try and work out of the zone. But there's Cash to meet him. Relating Wave trying to do maybe a little too much, and Cash unable to convert on the tight angle.
Solid, though. The shot was really good. But they still maintain that lead. I think looking at Team Liquid, you see them be able to put on these good presses like we're seeing now, but when the ball starts to transition to the other side, sometimes they're a little hesitant And that's been a big cause of some of, the opportunities we've seen Quadrant get. That being said, Quadrant have to do a better job putting those on target because they have been off on some drives that Liquid have kind of given them free lanes to the net to.
Relating Waves goal, the lone difference so far in game 3. But if you're Liquid, your eyes have to be on Ixo as he rotates back, looking for a corner boost that's not going to be there for him. And Chronic does a good job challenging against him. Atto, second, third touch, fourth on the way. And it's Cash with the save out of front. And here goes Ixo. And Chronic again doing a good job keeping him away from the ball. And again, that's got to be the key because Ixo is just on a different level today. This is an open ball and Cash will convert. Liquid decided that was the time to throw the house and Chronic couldn't get back in time.
You're right, Stacks. They sent the house, came up empty. And Chronic can only watch as Cash has his red all day long. You can, even though, you give him a little bit of credit. Final minute, they're trying to get something going here. They want to be able to also end the game in regulation. That's not happening at all.
And Cash almost putting this one out of reach for good, but there's still life for Liquid as Ixo throws one up there. Talking about Ixo a moment ago, he had 7 goals in the opening round. He's added a couple and make it a third. No, it's Cash who will score here. Ixo taken out of the play, even though it looked like he was bullying a Chronic in the net. Doesn't matter, Cash will score. And Quadrant have surely put this one out of reach.
Yeah, I think Chronic saw, again, that Ixo kind of harassed, and Cash just had a free lane. And it was a solid flick using that dominance as well. Not necessarily too easy to do unless you've got a lot of practice. So that ends up showing out. And yeah, it's going to be another one.
Well, sometimes you reach a point where you go next. And unfortunately for Liquid, Quadrant's not ready to go next. They're ready to go now and go often.
That's true. 4-0 as they seem to have woken up. They're looking to put this series on match point. 20 seconds in regulation. And wow, for Liquid to be able to come out of that last game, you'd think they would have at least been a little bit more competitive here. Not to say that they've dropped off, but I am going to look again at these numbers after the game. It does seem to be heavily in favor of Quadrant as Liquid now backs against the wall in round 2. Quadrant looking to close things out, go to that round 3 smooth sailing.
It's not the worst thing in the world when you get blown out at the end like that, though, because you kind of maybe use that last 30 seconds as almost like a pseudo timeout, if that's your style. And so that game getting out of reach, not really a death sentence at all here for Team Liquid. They've still got life in this series, and we know they can score in bunches when they get going. So the Cardiac Kids are going to have their work cut out for them against Quadrant. We bring Leaf back in for some updates through the rest of a very interesting second round.
It certainly is. I mean, Daz was asking me before if we're seeing some teams bounce back, and it looked like BDS and Moist might until they both gave up their sweeps away. So Tundra took game 3 against BDS, and then Turbo Clappers took game 3 against Moist. So those series are still going on. EG Solary, they're in game 3. They're tied up 1-1. Oxygen Vitality, they're tied up 1-1 in their series. But you got to say, Heat, the team that took a game off K Corp before, they're actually up in this series against Monkeys right now, 2-1. So Monkeys, I would have thought they'd be the strongest team in that matchup. But yeah, Heat, watch out for that team. I guess they're starting to take little nibbles at some of those favorites. But yeah, you're right.
You know what Heat has that Monkeys don't, Leaf?
What's that?
French players. They're the buff in EU, of course.
Well, there's your answer.
I think Heat's going to be a very exciting team to watch as the season rolls on as well. And of course, you wonder if some of these teams stick together in between splits. I think there's kind of been an emphasis put on keeping teams together with the total RLCS points determining who gets into these invitationals at each split. That's another topic for another time, though, as we're underway in Game 4, all business now, between Quadrant and Liquid, a game that Liquid must win, and that's not a good start with a Chronic and I think Oski running into each other, but they still keep the play going forward, and finally Relating Wave will put it to an end.
Seeing the way Team Liquid have kind of opened up, you know what they have to do offensive-wise in order to kind of break past Quadrant. But the thing is, will Quadrant allow that? The way Quadrant have been moving, it just seems like they enjoy just being on that kind of steamroll. I mean, Cash is a very kind of momentum player, though. If he starts getting going, he can do a lot, and he was real uncomfortable in the box there. So Liquid will take full advantage of it and get the first goal.
Yeah, Cash has so much going on in that net. He's got a Chronic all over him, trying to interfere with him in the net, trying to avoid him and get in position to get a clear. Can't even think about Atto coming in. You can certainly see him now. Flip reset, and Cash is there to stop him.
I mean, they took full advantage of that, and I'm sure they'll want to look to kind of keep up that little pace of play on Cash because they can shut down Cash. It does give them a lot more safety on the defensive end, and also maybe even lead to some offensive opportunities. Look what they're going to see what they can exploit here. As a towel, that's a good shot. Cash in the net, able to get that save out. That'll be his second. And he's been able to get some really good back-to-back stops here. Even put on a shot in transition.
The Lightning Wave trying to chase down Oski. Instead, he'll have to settle for the consolation prize of that corner boost. But on the other side, a toe shot is deflected by Cash. A Savior medal falling into his own net. Less than 2 minutes into the game, already down by a goal. Team Liquid, that sense of urgency is there, trying to force another Game 5 and come back from the ashes. It is Relating Wave having that deflect off him, and Cash will outlet to Wave. One-on-one with Atto. Ixo coming in, doesn't need him. Relating Wave like a battering ram.
Oh, he's absolutely like a battering ram. Look at this. Picks it up, doesn't even get a touch. He says, Atto, move out the way, please. Bullies him in the net. Good lane, good equalizer. Relating Wave showing his stuff.
Easily the most underrated member of this Quadrant roster, but maybe one of the most confident players in all of Europe. Ixo, power over Oski, and Chronic's got to cycle around. And the man advantage for Liquid allows them to clear at least towards midfield, but not out of the zone just yet. Atto ahead of Relating Wave. Oski ahead. Ixo right there in his way. He won't get that corner boost. Cash had to take it away from him, and he's right there to play that pinch from Atto.
So, wanted to move that one a little forward. Here's Oski on the ball. Towel flick, but not past Ixo. Cash trying to pick the pockets, and he catches him sleeping. Cash giving Quadrant the lead.
I'm going to guarantee you Liquid is thinking as soon as I think Oski looks back and sees Cash is there, like, I guess he's just there, and it's in my net. 2-1 with 2:06 to go. Dropping the hammer now on Liquid, trying to put him away in Game 4. It's Oski to the corner. A Chronic's there, and so too is Cash. Nothing doing for Liquid.
Another pass. Attack. Trying to get there, and Ixo will pick up his Savior medal. That'll be the 7th save for Quadrant this game. As that ball plays out. See Relating Wave trying to see if he can get another, and Atto says no, not a chance. Team Liquid backs against the wall in this series, and they are going to keep fighting until this game is out of reach. It is still very much in reach, though. 1:30 left. 1 goal deficit is so fragile between these two teams.
And no lead is safe, as we've learned here in the fall split. Oski right there, so too is Atto. They got to separate just a little bit. Oski downfield, couldn't dance around Cash. Now Oski needs one more. He needs help, though, and Atto is going to be a little bit wide. Now a Chronic with a minute to go. Liquid threatening. And still sent all the way around. Another shot in from Atto. That one deflected by Relating Wave. He's got a Savior medal. Again, who hasn't got a Savior medal on this Quadrant side at some point in this series? A toe shot blocked away. And finally, well, I thought Ixo was going to have the clear. Relating Wave does. But it's not looking great defensively right now for Quadrant. Almost a matter of when, not if, Liquid will tie the game.
Oh, but if Cash keeps putting on shots like that, maybe they can run out the clock. 30 seconds left. Chronic. Nice solid touch, has Oski in the middle. Oski, that gets past him a little bit, has to retreat, and there goes Cash, waiting to hop up on it. pinch out off the backboard for free. Ixo to end it. No, denied from a towel. Still a chance here. Quadrant keeping it in the zone. Aquatic gets it out in space, but it gets crashed by Cash. Oski in the corner, trying to get some semblance of control. There is no control. There is no hope. There is nothing left in round 2 for Team Liquid as Quadrant seal it with this goal.
Their hopes have dried up with 1 second remaining. Quadrant puts it away, and a 2-0 record for Quadrant. They do finally drop a game after going 3-0 in round 1. But Ixo's reign of terror continues. Now 10 goals in the first couple of rounds, only 7 games in. Quadrant look like they're ready for another top 8, but they've still got 1 giant step to go. As we bring Leaf back in and we look at the numbers as Quadrant punched their ticket to the 2-0 bracket. Liquid drops to 1-1, and a whole bunch of other teams are about to finish their matches.
Yeah, BDS already finished theirs. They do get their win 3-1 over Tundra. Aguirre just fought off a 3-0 sweep from Go. They will grab themselves a win. And you do have Moist actually going into